just fine here on our own. What you offering? Another money mind. Oh, you wanna rob me blind? Well, I don't know this time. Oh, don't want it just a liar. Don't wanna feed the fire. Tell me what to do. Yeah. Been listening to my heart. It's leading me from the dark. Tell me what to choose. Don't wanna trust a liar. Don't wanna be the buyer. Tell me what to do. Listening to my heart. It's leading me from the dark. Tell me what to choose. Tell me what to You try to keep us down, but we are backing out because the time is now. Screaming till you're breathless, till all the voices drown. But we ain't backing down. Oh, our time is now. Don't wanna just a liar. Don't wanna be the buyer. Tell me what to do. Hey, hey. Listening to my heart. It's leading me from the dark. Tell me what to choose. Tell me what to Don't wanna just a liar. Don't wanna feed the buyer. Tell me what to do. Tell me what to do. What to do. It's not worth a lot 'cause the deal's been shot, but I can't let it go. It's caught in a hidden place, over and over and over again. So what do we do it for? For the for the just in the cold, for the may claim that it's all for naught, that there is no gain. Well, they rake in your fame and the greenback babes that a headline brings. 'Cause even kings gotta eat, even kings gotta dream. Gotta tap these waters before we head downstream. The Papa's hanging from the sycamore tree, but the dreaming keep on, keep on, keep on. For the rose, for the rose, riches in the rose, for the riches in the rose, for the riches in the rose. For the riches in the rose, for the riches in the rose, for the riches in the dreaming, dreaming, dreaming. Are the riches in the girls, are the riches in the girls, are the riches in the girls. Are the riches in the girls, are the riches in the girls, are the riches in the girls. Counting all your aces, you ain't winning. Your phone book full of numbers staring late. All them vain decisions keep you dating. You could have found that one day you won't take. So aren't you glad to meet me? I think you should, I'll be glad to meet me. If I were you, aren't you glad to meet me? I think you should. I make a real good show out of you, time and taking slow. Yes, you're original, aren't you glad to meet me? I think you should. I mean, I really think you should, yeah. Take me up like a firework light the sky. Be a touch and I know that I'm flying high.
Need to unmute. Hello, everybody, and welcome to UNM Esports. This is the first stream of the semester, the Shadow Isles Cup in Clash for League of Legends. I'm Dieter Elegant Cabbage Handbicki, your host and shoutcaster for tonight. And let's just jump right in about 15 minutes. The team will head onto the Rift, and we will begin our League of Legends experience for the night. So, for those of you who are unaware of what Clash is, let's just do a quick overview. Clash is an 8-team bracket where there are 3 rounds, and no matter what, you will play 3 games. Prize structures are all in-game currency, really. And frankly, you get the most if you go 3-0, obviously. But interestingly enough, the prize breakdown is actually the best if you go 1-2, with that one game being the first game won, and then losing both after that. I don't know why that is. But that's the prize structure that Riot Games went with. So we're, of course, hoping for the clean sweep, the 3-0 tonight for UNM Esports. But for that not to happen, we at least want them to win game 1. Now, as I said, we have about 13 minutes to go until lock-in completes, and hopefully we can get into Champion Select a little bit after that. So until then, I will be losing my mind on stream while trying to talk to all of you about what's good in League of Legends. In this segment, I call Secret OP, because picks to watch was already taken by the LCS, so it has to be called something. Disclaimer, some of these picks aren't particularly secret. If you look at win rates, none of these are particularly mind-boggling. So we're just going to go through a few of them and really pin down if we might see them tonight. I think we might actually see a couple of these and why we might see them. So, of course, first in the top lane, the terror of the void himself, Cho'Gath. So the reasoning for this is basically Frostfire Gauntlet is still really OP, and Cho'Gath wants to have sticking power. That's really the one weakness inherent in his kit. And once he gets this item, he's able to basically just run down anyone he wants. I believe it's his his Void Spikes, that proc the slow field from Frostfire Gauntlet. And then Frostfire Gauntlet, it's the same price as every other Balmy Cinder mythic item, but it has a higher cost to build, or a higher recipe cost, final cost, after you get the 3 items. And that makes it actually a little bit easier to build, as the Balmy Cinder, I believe, is still 1100. The Null Magic Mantle is 450, and then that Chain Vest at 800. Those are a lot easier item breakpoints, and because it has both MR and AD, and especially the AD is the main component, it is really good for top lane, where for the most part, you're only going to be facing against other AD threats. So if you're against let's say a Quinn matchup as Cho'Gath, something that is really hard to deal with, you can just quickly buy cloth armor, upgrade it into that Chain Vest, and you'll have a lot easier of a lane, and it won't affect you how quickly you get your mythic, which is really what you want. And also overall, everything, ability, haste, armor, health, and magic resist, are things that Cho'Gath wants to have. He, those are all things that he wants. The only thing that this doesn't have that he would want is AP. That's not that big of a deal, as the AP Cho'Gath build isn't the strongest at the moment. Now, next on this one's definitely not a secret, I don't think, just no one plays him, list is Ivern. Now, there isn't really a reason that he's so good right now. It's kind of a combination of reasons. One, no one plays him, so and a lot of those low play rate champions, Riot really buffs the crap out of them so that people will play them. You know, why would you play Aurelion Sol if they're terrible, basically? It's a very hard champion to play, so you're going to only want it if you have a 54% win rate. But another reason that Ivern is probably really good is his 3 core items getting all three items, is going to be 7,100 gold plus boots. And those three items on a similarly win rate champion here in the jungle on this patch 11.1 on Olaf is 2,500-ish more than the Ivern, meaning that the power spikes are going to come in faster. And in a game of power spikes, this is going to be a lot more effective roaming around the map as Ivern. Of course, the problem with Ivern, I would say, here's what I'll say about the secret OP picks. If you've never played Cho'Gath before, he's relatively easy. Go up top, play Frostfire. It'll be really easy. Just get that freelo. Ivern is really niche in his playstyle, so I would not suggest just first timing him in the ranked and expecting that win. You're gonna lose. He's an interesting champion. Next, this is something that I actually expect to see here in the mid lane. In one of the three games, I don't think that the mid laner for UNM Esports has Neeko in his champion pool. But basically, the reason that Neeko is really good right now is she bursts just so much damage. Level 3 if you hit your abilities. And on top of that, one of your abilities, her E, it's a snare. So you're going to have just a really good time throwing your snare out, layering your Q over that, and then auto-attacking. That combined with Electrocute is 270 damage at level 3 if you hit your abilities. Of course, this is ignoring magic resist, so it's probably going to be somewhere, I'd guess, around 200, 180. But that's still a huge amount of damage. If you're able to just land that level 3, if you're able to get them in the minion wave and get the Q onto the minion wave, kill minions, it will proc twice, and that's another 86 damage on top. And I have a feeling that, combined with having the snare, which is generally good against AD mid laners such as Yone and Yasuo and Zed, which are fairly prevalent in the meta, it all goes down to being a good pick, and that's ignoring her ultimate, which is also very good into those AD threats. Of course, Neeko only has, I want to say only, it's only about a 52.5% win rate. So it's not the strongest on this list that I have. However, it is quite good, I would say. Let me just put UNM Esports stream in the Discord. Forgot to do that. Next on our list, I believe I put Swain down, but the reason Swain is OP isn't so much the champion. It's more, how do I put this? The champion is really good, but he isn't a hard carry threat. The champion scales really well as having a decent lane. The reason Swain's so good is he combos really well with other carry supports. Like if you go Swain Brand, that's a kill lane. And the Swain isn't going to get particularly fed off of that lane, but the Brand is. And the Brand will be able to hard carry. So I wouldn't want to go something like Swain Alistar, where you don't have all that much damage in that lane. I don't think that's good. But if you go Swain Zyra and you get those double snares and you just really layer your CC well and do a lot of damage, that's where Swain excels. He's also very good at not dying himself, which makes it a fairly safe pick down there in the bot lane. And then, of course, this one's definitely the least secret out of everyone on this list, the Sapling Toss. The reason you play Maokai, and the reason everyone's playing Maokai in the support position, he has like a 16% pick rate, is because his Sapling Toss ability is really dumb. It combos really well with Imperial Mandate, and it's like 180 not really avoidable damage. You just toss those saplings right into the bushes in the bot lane, and the enemy bot lane now can't walk forward. It's obnoxious. You can't clear them out. And then once you get other burn items on the Maokai, you just build full AP. You're not going tank Maokai. You just go full AP. And it's really dumb. He can do the most damage in the game while never really getting within auto attack range. It's something that Riot should probably address. I think it's like a 53% win rate with a 16% pick rate, which really is broken. So that's Secret OP for everyone for this week. Normally right here, I would have what I'm going to call skirmisher schematics. But we don't have that at the moment. So we are just going to be looking for... Let's just center that. We're going to be looking for someone... I'll be looking at I Drink Bathwater. And as soon as they go into Clash, we will be back. This may be another 10-ish minutes, so I'm going to put the Be Right Back feed on and put a little bit more music to jam to. And as soon as I see UNM Esports get into game, we'll be back.
It's winter, I dream of summer. We go places, magic and wonder. Starlit faces never look somber, no. Can you feel my heartbeat racing? Memories of heartbreak fading. I reach out, these arms embracing you. They don't have a love worth chasing. We go far beyond those spaceships. Open up your eyes, you see it too. You lift my spirits when you hold my hand. Anywhere we land, it's like our toes are in the sand. You got my feelings set to overload, spilling over more until I overflow.
And we are back. We are currently watching, let's see, this is Yellow Cactus. We are going to be up against VVS Game 1. And since we have nothing better to do, we're just going to be watching the scouting play out in real time. In 4 minutes and 20 seconds, we'll go down into champion select here for UNM Esports. Platinum 2, Gold 1, Platinum 2, Platinum 2, and then a Diamond 4. That's relatively reasonable for what UNM Esports is at the moment. I'd say that's almost exactly what they are. I think there's one Diamond and everyone else is racing. They actually have a 10 RP bet to see who can get to Diamond next. I'm going to guess I am not in on anything that they are theory crafting right now. However, I would assume that Meteo, I'm going to say, is the mid laner for VVS. And they are most likely going to, they being UNM Esports, will most likely ban the Yone here. As we can see, there's a lot of Ashe, a lot of Ezreal for World's Best. He's the only AD carry, it looks like, for that team. KR Royale, I'm going to assume, is the support with those champions there over on the left side. Most likely top lane going to Hisashibaru. And then Fernando Torres is going to be in the jungle there for VVS. Sometimes this is a little bit harder to actually guess, as some teams really throw their champions around, switch around those roles. But this one seems to be fairly straightforward. KR Royale and World's Best down there in the bot lane. Meteo, I'm going to call it Meteo. They're in the mid lane. Hisashiribu there in the top lane, and Fernando Torres in the jungle. Just based on the ranked games this season, I would go with banning out the Yone. However, I see a cursor going over the Yasuo, so that one might be the next one on the chopping block. Of course, UNM Esports has 3 bans at the beginning. Then they get 3 of their picks, 2 more bans, and then the rest of their 2 picks for 5 bans in total, and then 5 picks in total for some of you joining us who have no idea what League of Legends is. Hopefully that's none of you, because this is going to get really confusing. My shoutcasting is decent. I'd say it's okay at best. Oh, we're going to look at some skins. Urgot, Nasus, Malphite. We're going to go down and Silas. Huh. I really have no idea what they're looking at right now. Yeah. I would assume Yellow Cactus, he isn't an Aatrox one trick, but I would assume that the Aatrox is going to be either picked or banned here for this top laner on the UNM esports side. Apart from that, I really don't. This is a relatively new team that I've casted only a few times so far, and they've all been in scrims. So while scrims do mean things, you can't always guess what people's priorities on champions are based on nice based on what they pick in the scrims, because scrims really, while they do mean things, they're not indicative of how well a team plays. And it looks like we're going to be going right into champion select here. Hopefully everyone declares their champion, so I get to talk a little bit more about this. Sometimes there's a visual bug where you can't see the enemy team. That's fine. It will get fixed as soon as they lock in a champion. Hopefully. Occasionally it doesn't. And then I think the whole game crashes. But we're just going to hope that isn't what happens. And there we see Summoners 1 through 5. Casio, first ban here actually for UNM Esports. Didn't particularly see that while going through all of these champions from VVS. I may have been wrong, though, so we'll have to see. Heimerdinger, the first ban here for VVS. Odd. I didn't think that anyone on the UNM Esports squad was a Heimerdinger one trick, and that's really the only time that you need to ban the Heimerdinger. Because if you only casually play the Dong, he's not good. The next bans, Kled and Hecarim, both are fairly good in this meta. Nunu and Willump, and then Darius, the next bans. Decent bans here, all in all. The Heimerdinger's the only one that I'm a little sus at. And then the Jhin first pick. That's about what you would expect from this meta. He's the number 180 carry, and then Samira being picked up, I would say, give or take, the number 280 carry, only sitting at a 48, I think, % win rate for solo queue. But in the higher levels, in the professional levels of play, she is a very high priority champion. Now, Pantheon picked up here for VVS, pretty much the highest priority champion in the game at the moment. I think a 95% win rate overall in the LPL. Next lock-in is going to be Nautilus, it looks like here for the bot lane, rounding up that bot lane of UNM Esports. Nautilus Jhin, a very good lane aggressive lane here. Little Willie 69's hovering Graves. Let's see if that is what they want. That might be a takeaway, really, from the jungler of VVS. I remember seeing a lot of Graves when they were just casually flicking through his champion history. So Graves is also a very good champion at the moment as well. It is a high-tier champion, while also not having, well, this is also a takeaway, basically. And we're going to see the third pick here, and that is the Yone, something that I personally would have banned. Oh no, it was the Shyvana. Interesting pick. That team deciding that they needed an AP jungler. The interesting thing is that telegraphs that this is probably going to be the Yone picked up next for VVS with the Pantheon top. And actually what I want to see UNM Esports do right here is ban out the Yone. I think with a 57% win rate on that mid laner for VVS, this, and additionally just a very high pick rate in pretty much all tiers of play right now and a high win rate, I think Yone would be a very good ban out. Unless, I believe PPSU is the mid laner here for UNM Esports in this game. Might be Little Willie 69, I'm not entirely certain. Unless they think that they can take it away and do better. The problem with that is they're very heavily invested in AD already, with the Graves, with the Jhin, and with the Nautilus. The Nautilus tells you that you can't pick a brand or something like that in the bot lane. Malphite and Ornn, the two bans here from VVS targeting Yellow Cactus. They're up in the top lane. I'd say those are fairly decent bans. Surprised that the Aatrox wasn't in there, as I have a feeling that will be the next one to come out. And Yasuo and Yone, the brothers Grimm, were banned out here. Well, the brothers Hasaki were banned out here for UNM Esports. Good bans, I'd say, overall. Nothing super OP, I'm going to say, was left open for either team. I suppose the Maokai could still be picked up for VVS if that is indeed a Pantheon top and a Galio mid. Fiddlesticks here picked up in the jungle from Didicus. We've seen him before in scrims really pop off on the Crow. The Crow, of course, the Scarecrow did, of course, get banned in M-O. I don't know if he's trying to talk to me or to talk to PP soon. It looks like the Maokai getting locked in here in the top lane for Yellow Cactus. Of course, Maokai is a very good champion in the top lane as well, somewhere around a 52% win rate. The problem that I'm seeing here for UNM Esports is if Didicus... Oh, wait, no, that's a fiddle in the middle. Wow, no, that's a... What is going on? What is this team comp? I don't know what this team comp is, actually. I think that's a Maokai top, and then it's a fiddle jungle, and then a Graves mid. It's an odd takeaway that I'm surprised I didn't just take the Yone instead of letting the Graves through. I feel like Yone is just a significantly higher tier pick than the Graves, but we will find out. The other team, similarly weird. I guess Aatrox was picked up as the counter, I think, there to the Maokai. Or the Maokai, yeah, it was the final pick, I believe, in the game. Shyvana jungle, I'm going to assume that's a Pantheon top and a Galio mid. Galio mid falling off in favorability since the latest round of nerfs. A decently okay... Alright, we stop watching this, minimize, and then go to spectate game. And now we get to talk about it for another 3 minutes. Hooray! So that is... Oh, that actually looks like it is okay. I think I said Hisa Shiribiru was going to be the mid laner here, or what I was expecting to be the mid laner here for VVS, whereas it actually is going to... It might be Mateo there in the mid lane. I suppose Pantheon and Galio are fairly flexible when it comes to the mid lane versus support position. So either one of them could be in this position, honestly, and on either champion. The only thing that we really know for certain is that is a Shyvana jungle. Her top lane has really fallen off in recent years. An Aatrox top, and then a Samira in the bot lane position. Over here on the UNM side, on the, I believe this is the blue side of the map. I think so. Yellow Cactus, they're in the top lane, piloting that Maokai into the Aatrox. I believe that's actually a fairly standard counter for the Maokai, is that Aatrox. The Maokai, while they do have a lot of heals and a lot of combat utility, the Aatrox is really just better at the 1v1. Maokai, of course, later in the game provides so much utility for a team that it doesn't matter if they go down in the lane. But that is a fairly... what we would expect to see from the top lane is that Aatrox getting fairly ahead in CS, just due to the nature of the matchup. The unfortunate thing for him is because it's a Shyvana, there isn't going to be all that much jungle intervention here for VVS in any lane until you can gank before level 6 as the Shyvana, but until that dragon form comes out, your ganks are really subpar, and generally your time is better spent just trying to get to level 6, getting dragons, and then trying to go for the ganks. The mid lane, it's Graves versus probably Pantheon. I'm going to be honest, gang. I have no idea at all if that is excuse me as I move this across, if that is a good matchup or not. It could be. I don't know. Let's see. So we'll fade out and then we'll fade in. Black screen for a hot second. This is not actually a fiddle in the middle, I don't think. The chat seems to think that it's the fiddle in the middle, but it's not. It's that Fiddlesticks has smite. It's not a mid lane smite Fiddlesticks. And then a jungler without smite Graves. That would be really dumb. Something you could do, but dumb. Okay, so we'll be into game fairly shortly. Anything interesting on the keystones, on the masteries? Doesn't really look like it. Everything's fairly standard. You go Aftershock here on the Galio, and you've been doing that for quite a while. After they changed him around to be less of an AP burst mage than what he was changed to be, you don't go Comet as commonly anymore. It's just not as good. And objective timers, time controls. And now we try and...
Welcome to Summoner's Rift.
See, UNM is on the blue side. Yeah. And then... So unfortunately, because it is Clash, I had no idea what the enemy team's names were going to be, and I can't change the overlays on the fly. So every single game is going, or every single team for these next 3 games is going to be called TGG. That's Team Gaming Gang for short. We're seeing a 5-man stack here from UNM Esports. Shyvana looking for a cheeky invade on the top side. Oh no, Hisa Shiribu actually very good there, putting the ward down first. That sees everyone there. That lets Shyvana know that she's clear to go and put that ward down. And she should go back, switch to a sweeper, which she did not do. No, she did. Okay. And actually, interesting... Hold on, let me just fix this scoreboard. So did the Pantheon, going back and getting the sweeper. Maokai heading his way back top. No deep wards going down in the enemy jungle for UNM Esports. While that is not ideal, I don't think that's anything that really should be worried about. We know what path this Shyvana is going to take. She's going to go blue, Gromp, and then probably to red. She might stop off at a different lane or at a different camp in between. Depends on how safe she feels. And it's not going to be particularly controversial to say this, I don't think. It's a fairly standard pathing. Looks like... the real problem with Fiddlesticks starting on the blue side is he wants to match the bot lane with the Shyvana. Hook going wide. I Drink Bathwater still trading a little bit of damage onto Hisashibu. And there we see the sweeper paying off. That's going to be an extra CS for, I think that was Fernando Torres that got that sweeper kill. And that might just mean that they're going to tick over to level 2 earlier. It does not. I Drink Bathwater. You don't want to be there. Having to use the flash to get out Hisashiribu. Also using the flash, so that's going to be a dead I Drink Bathwater. Little Willie 69 taken down to half HP as well with just the spear poke. And Fernando Torres getting a couple of good auto attacks. And I don't know what that was. That was just UNM Esports just completely disrespecting the level 2. And that's not what you want to see. Now, a potion here being chugged by Little Willie 69. Something that I didn't notice, but is interesting. Little Willie 69 went boots 3 pot here into this lane. I do wonder if that is a optimization that you go into Pantheon support or any poke lane, knowing that you're going to need to chug pots and you're just not going to get particularly a lot of lifesteal off of a Doran's blade. I think it's only like 2% or something like that, or maybe it's a couple HP per minion killed. I don't really remember. And this Graves mid is actually winning really hard against the Galio, something that I did not expect. I suppose it makes sense if you think about it a little bit. The Galio needs to be into an auto attack range to really do anything, and Graves loves getting just right into auto attack range with the Galio. The Graves doesn't care if he gets, gets the W from Galio, gets that what is it called? The taunt, because he's going to want to auto attack the Graves or the Galio. Anyways, very early TP force here out of the Graves. He's basically full HP, half mana. He doesn't need to go back anytime soon, and he has a 20 CS lead here at 4.5 minutes. That's absolutely absurd. He already completely negated the first blood that this team VVS was able to get. Mateo going in, missing that Justice Punch, and Graves is going to be able to get a lot of damage back. And here we see, this is Maokai into Aatrox. Maokai does not have fun in these early levels. Decently okay in CS, I would say. Pipisu now getting ganked. House of Shiburi going to try and get that stun. Pipisu already used that flash, and that will be a dead Graves in the mid lane. As you can see, that was, I don't know actually if that was a pink ward that was placed down by Hasashiburi there going into the mid lane, but if that was premeditated, that was an excellent roam. Didn't look like there was much of a call out from the bot lane saying, hey, Pantheon's missing. I drink bathwater, getting a hook into the snare from Little Willie 69. They're trying to defend this pink ward. They should know that that dragon was going down. It's a Shyvana. Dragon spawns at 5 minutes. Do the math. It's where she's going to be. It's not surprising that she gets that basically on cooldown. Altsashir Buri having no passive stacks. They'll get those up again pretty soon. Actually fairly even here in CS in the bot lane after they pick all of these up from the side of UNM Esports. They'll be a little behind even, but nothing that's a big enough deficit that particularly matters. While deficits do matter in this game, and laning CS is a big deal, there is a certain amount that doesn't matter. If you're only down 5 CS, that's really only going to be about, oh no, Little Willie 69 getting jumped on, stunned up. There's the heal from Little Willie 69. Hasashiburi might actually just go down here. The tank up by Fernando Torres of the snare from Little Willie 69. Didcas is here getting the fear down onto Fernando Torres. There's the omnidimensional wind wall. Now Fernando Torres is not long for this world. Looks like they want to give it over to Little Willie 69, as the kill on Hisashiriburi was given by, or taken by I Drink Bathwater. He was the only one around, so that one makes a lot of sense. And that was a fairly clean 2 for 0. Giving it back, or getting back even in score here. UNM Esports 2-2. A comfortable 500 gold lead here at about 7.5 minutes. 1 dragon down. Not that big of a deal. Everyone gets 3, as the kids do like to say. Before 3, it does matter, but it doesn't matter that much. Here, we're just going to watch a lot of trades. Yellow Cactus wants to get grasp stacks off onto the Aatrox, and that's really all he's doing. Mahio I think he might have been able to get the Graves to tank a few more turret plates if he really wanted to there. But all in all, that was a bad trade by him. I mean, if we look at the build here from the bird in the mid, it's actually... that is a first item Seeker's Arm Guard. He is down, give or take, double the CS of PPSU. This is an unmitigated disaster. Very good going out, and World's Best is in, getting a huge amount of damage in, and that was a 3-man. Excellent roam from the support there, committing his flash to make sure that that Graves goes down. And eventually, even though this Graves is majorly ahead in CS, it isn't going to matter. One kill is 10 to 15 gold, or 10 to 15 CS. So at 1-0-1, this Galio is, I don't want to say on par, because he's definitely not on par, having to build full defensive early. But he's definitely not as bad as the score, or as the CS would lead you to believe. 20 CS deficit in the top lane. That's about what you would expect at this point in the game. 9 minutes. The Maokai, it sucks to play this matchup. The best you can do is seed the CS, not die. Try and just pick up the scraps where you can. And you'll be assuming that the Aatrox isn't just able to pop off and completely dominate any team fights. This Maokai will be incredibly useful in later team fights in the stage. Fernando Torres is going to have to really watch out for the Maokai. She can dodge a lot of projectiles, but as, you know, the kids say, dodge this filthy casual, and throws their entire body at someone. And here we see the power of Jhin. Although the Pantheon was not there in lane for most of it, Jhin does have fairly decent wave clear with the bouncing bullets on his Q, getting 4 minions, and as soon as he gets a bunch of AD, like on Noon Quiver, and then a pickaxe, it's fairly easy to just walk up to these waves and doink things down. Fernando Torres, the Samira is not great in lane, especially not pre-6. Crowstorm coming down, that was depth charge as well, and this is going to be 2 dead gamers. Curtain Call coming down, Little Willie 69 getting 1, Mateo is in, getting that Justice Punch or whatever. Grand Entrance is what it's called. Aatrox did teleport from the bot lane, but with Didicus here getting a decent fear, that's a lot of Qs missing, and now he's going to go down as well, I think. He is seen. Little Willie 69 does not have flash. That is not going to be a kill onto KR Royale, but it's going to be damn near him teleporting to his death. Him not getting anything is amazing for the Maokai. Now World's Best is in a very bad position. Jungler and mid laner are, or no, jungler, or that is not a jungle Graves. Top and mid lane going in, but now looks like Yellow Cactus is going to be caught up with 3 people being there. That's Mateo, 2-0-1 on the chicken in the mid lane, and World's Best is going to be able to continue his counter jungle. While that was happening, Didicus in the bot lane was doing the dragon, and that's probably a fairly decent trade with the passive on the Shyvana, just stacking off of dragons. He's going to have a really harder time now not having that second one. Although a kill did go down, and this is going to be a lot of damage here onto this turret. PPC, I don't think you want to be there. Mateo taking a lot of damage, but it's not going to be a kill. No, PPC still going in. Hassan Bushi almost going down, and there is the kill. Actually going down. Little Willie 69 flashing forward is going to get another one. Not quite able to do it. World's Best able to be picked up there by Little Willie 69. 4-0-2. Finish the Gale Force. He is online, and although Curtain Call coming down, trying to get Mateo, but he is completely out of range, and that's not just going to buy time, really. Interesting choice there by Hissen Shuriburi, deciding to go in 1v4. Pantheon is a very strong champion, but he's not that strong. That was a little bit of an int there. A bit of a yikes, as we like to say in the business. 1, 4, and 3 actually doing kind of abysmal, if I do have to say. On this Pantheon support. Pantheon support is, of course, the lowest win rate of all of the lanes that you can really play Pantheon in. He can kind of go into all roles that aren't bot lane at the moment. Although his support is it's fine. As you saw in the very early levels, it was super strong. Little Willie 69 and I Drink Bathwater were constantly under their tower, but then he roamed a lot. Didn't get much done there. Got 2 kills in the mid lane for the Galio, but they still weren't really able to do much with that I Drink Bathwater getting jumped on. And if you look, there's just not that much damage coming down from that Pantheon support anymore. He threw more or less everything at the Nautilus. Mateo kind of looking for something, kind of just getting a lot of damage taken by Graves. I Drink Bathwater going in, the shield coming down by House of Shiriburi. But now with that gone, he's going to take half of his HP from Little Willie 69. World's Best is around. Fernando Torres is very close to that S level to get her ult. Didicus is in the top lane. KR Royale is probably going to die here. A lot of CC coming down, and that's a lot of healing coming down from KR Royale. Actually, he's just going to walk his way out. Depth charge going down onto Fernando Torres, Hishan Shiriburi, flashing for Little Willie 69. Not long for this world, getting burned down, and so is I Drink Bathwater. Nothing traded back despite tanking up the turret. A dive sort of there, but a very good flash forward by Hishan Shiriburi. I think he's been using that flash on cooldown. I almost think it would have been better served if he was on a champion like Alistar or Set or something that can more effectively use the flash. You know, imagine if all of these flashing forwards were headbutt pulverize combos instead of, you know, the relatively mediocre stun and not much damage from this Pantheon. That was the turret trade there overall. The first turret, of course, being that mid lane one that the Graves pretty much got all the way down before the 4-man in the mid lane. But Tejo not doing... The weird thing about this Galio at the moment is if you look at his scoreline, 2-0-1, 150 gold shutdown, he actually looks like he's doing really well in this game. But it's kind of the smell test. If you look at his gameplay, it's not been particularly impactful. Those kills have just been really gifted to him by his jungler and his support. And he hasn't done much with them. He's 60 CS down. That's on Shuriburi getting jumped on, and there goes the ult from Galio, using it to get his support out. But I don't think that was really necessary. Probably could have walked over, and that's a very long cooldown down now for the side of VVS. Not great Galio play here from the mid lane. UNM Esports looking for a skirmish around third dragon. The Pantheon over the wall. He's the only one there, and he's probably just going to die here. Didicus is here getting the excellent fear, and that's Little Willie 69, 5-1 and 3. Now the Twisted Advance going down into the depth charge. This is a dragon going in, and oh my god, that's so much damage. Little Willie 69 is dead. Double kill going down. Both the bot laners here for UNM Esports are down. KR Royale is now not long for this world. PP Sue is doing so much damage here, hard carrying the back half of this fight. That was basically him 1v3ing Yellow Cactus with an assist, just holding everyone down. And that was overall a 5-for-2. The bot lane and the bot lane carry going down for UNM Esports, but it does not matter. That's third dragon going over to UNM Esports. This dragon stacking that Shyvana really wants to do has been completely thwarted. This Graves is now super online, more than he even was before. Eclipse finished on him. Now it looks like he's going for Edge of Night, I think is that build path. I'm not entirely certain. Didicus, despite being 1-0-9, no items completed from him. And then even the Maokai, down only about 15 CS so far. It doesn't really matter. He's just been so impactful in these team fights. Sasashiri Buri looks like he wants to run down PPSU, but with the rest of the team collapsing and with no flash on him, PPSU will be able to just walk right out. No big deal. It looks like a little bit of a break in the action after that dragon fight. 18.5 minutes into the game. A relatively low kill game, I'd say, for Season 11 standards. 12-8, 4-kill lead here for UNM Esports. A fairly healthy 2K lead in gold. 2 dragons to 0. This is an Ocean Dragon map, and the towers are more or less even. So it looks like the lane assignments for UNM Esports are going to be the top lane for Yellow Cactus, and the bot lane is going to be in the mid lane. That's fairly standard. The real problem is Yellow Cactus is way overextended. He's now going to be in a 2v1. Mateo and Hasanshiri Bui are here. I don't actually know if they have enough damage to kill him. Justice Punch going in, but the Twisted Advance, this Sat Magic is just doing so much damage. And while that's happening, a 3v3 is happening in the mid lane. Samir hitting the Didicus, going in, not getting much with that Crow Storm. The curtain has been called. Fernando Torres is going to get third shotted down. The 4th shot completely misses. PPSU walking down into that mid lane, getting snared up. KR Royale, that is going to be a huge grand entrance into a taunt. Mateo's going to die for it, though. And I Drink Bathwater is going to be able to walk out. KR Royale going to go down. Hits on Shuri Buri, flashing in, getting the stun, but it just didn't matter. He keeps just basically inting in. It was so good Pantheon play for the first, 5 minutes of this game. And since then, it has been awful. It has just been terrible. And off of that fight, 3 men dead for the side of VBS. It looks like UNM Esports are setting their sights on Baron, and I don't think there's anything that VBS can do about it. It's going down relatively quickly, despite it being only 20 minutes. There's the blue Oracle ward, but it just doesn't matter. And now for the next 3 minutes, UNM Esports is wearing purple. The first thing that they should probably do is I think they should run to the top side, get that last Elder turret down. That'll be the easiest money to get into their pockets. They should probably do a... looking at the teleports, Yellow Cactus is the only one with teleport. Probably a 4-1 would be the best if you have Yellow Cactus in the mid lane and then 4 people in the top lane. Don't really have to worry about him, so he'd be able to teleport in, but it's also weird not having the Maokai with the team. Honestly, this might just be a good team comp. It's just a 5-man death ball a tower. They have so much dive potential between the Crow Storm on Didicus, Yellow Cactus just being a Maokai, and then I Drink Bathwater on that Nautilus. They can, if VVS tries to defend a turret, they can dive pretty easily, and I don't think that they have much risk at this point in the game. They have 3 tanks. I mean, plus Graves is going to do a really good job of, tanking turrets, not dying as well. And this should be a fairly easy game, I would say, from here for UNM Esports. It looks like they are trying to push down the mid lane, use priority on that, get the tier 2, and then probably go back to get the 3rd dragon. I almost don't like that if that's actually what they do. It might be better for them to just try and use up this Baron. They still have about 2 minutes of it left. Yellow Cactus going into the 1v1 versus Mateo. Both of them do have teleport. It looks like UNM Esports not going to push down any more towers for the moment, just going to go back. The incredibly safe thing, this isn't incorrect for them to do, I don't think. This is third dragon. They're now on soul point. That is really good for them. But I think they could have been a little bit, I don't want to say greedier, but they could have been a little bit more aggressive with their macro in this sense. I think they could have gone for a mid lane inhib take as well as then pulling back. Jhin with the flank. This is a dead Galio, I think. The only thing he has left is, yep, he's going to use his ultimate to someone behind him. And it doesn't actually save him. The dragon has been called, and that is a dead PP going in. Didicus now using these Crow Storm, going golden himself. He is on the front line. Twisted Advance coming in. Now has a Sherry Burry, also throws a spear. He's in himself. This is a 4v4. Little Willie 69 on a killing spree. Everyone on the red team is super low. And that was a 2 for 1 overall. Little Willie 69 looking for more. Might actually get it. Fernando Torres going to be in the safety of his base, and it looks like UNM Esports are just going to decide to get this tier 2 in the top lane. I would expect they're going to back and reset after that. And that was a really good fight, a good collapse. Yellow Cactus didn't even need to use his teleport. Mateo didn't either. So they still have that. The problem that this red team is encountering is this Galio is useless. Frankly, he's yeah, it's not great for him this game. He just got smashed in lane, and every time he tries to go for something, it just has not worked out. This Pantheon support, he needs to, I think the LCS analysts say temper their aggression. They go in, and that's great. That was great in the first 5 minutes. It worked out really well. And then it didn't? I drink bathwater face checking into 3 people, but with Pipisu here. Oh no, KR Royale, you're just gonna die for that one, Hassan. This is Sherry Bowie next on the chopping block. This is an absolute disaster here for VBS. Yellow Cactus going in on Mateo, using the flash for that. Not sure about that one. Dragon Form is available. Excellent hook there onto Stunned. And that might be game. A 5 for 2. No, it looks like the UNM Esports are just going to go back and get a second inhib. That's the correct move. With only, yeah, they might have been able to get 1 Nexus turret off of that, which would have been good, but I think getting the tier 2 and then pressuring an inhib turret is going to be significantly better. It will be at least 1 turret, I think. No, UNM Esports deciding to run away with the Graves on the other side of the map. Not entirely certain why PPC was there. Twisted Advance going forward, then the Anchor going in. The Dragon Form has gone down. World's Best going, looking for Little Willie 69. World's Best going very low. Fernando Torres getting all of his ult down, not really doing all that much. KR Royale able to find 1. No, he's not able to find 1. Then the Justice Punch the Grand Entrance coming in, but everyone was dead by that point. That was a clean ace by UNM Esports. They didn't even need to reset. And that is game 1. Going to UNM Esports. Pretty much the most amount of rewards possible for UNM Esports after this. It really doesn't even matter if they lose the next 2 games. Hey, look, I got a Mind Blast icon. And I just want to look at some stats here. Let's see some advanced details. We're going to be taking bets on who did the most amount of damage, and I'm going to guess it was Pipisu on that Graves. Oh, no, it was actually Little Willie 69, very slightly ahead. But pretty much everyone on that team did more than everyone. So that's about, I would think, what you would expect the damage graphs to be from that game. All in all, a very clean game. A couple of missteps here and there in the early game from UNM Esports, but all in all, that was a very clean bet. If we look at the gold graph here, it's going to go to Elegant Cabbage first. Search, we want to go to Yellow Cactus. Yep, actually, that's a more even gold graph than I was expecting, and then after 18 minutes, it just really ballooned quite nicely, as you'd want to see. UNM Esports keeping it very close, and VVS keeping it very close, really, for the first 17-ish minutes of the game. That's a 13 gold lead. That's literally nothing in this game. Anything below 50 is actually nothing, because 50 is what's required to buy a potion. And, yeah, you'd love to see it, honestly. This is just a very clean game from everyone on UNM Esports. There should be a scouting for Clash going on. I need to... we can look at a couple of other things as I now... hold on. I drink bathwater. Where is Yellow Cactus? We just go copy, paste, enter. Is that toxic? Someone tell me in chat if that's toxic. And yoice. Nice. So we will be getting into... no, wait. This one. And... Game 2! Haha! Shortly. We'll be scouting. Don't see anyone streaming just yet. We'll be muting myself for a second. And I actually didn't end up muting myself, so... I try using the mute button on my microphone, and it only seems to work about half the time. So sorry if you were listening to me chug tea, doing these solo streams. By game 3, my voice is going to be dead. It's rough. Anyways, if any of you would like to test your chops, if you are an aspiring shoutcaster, not just for League of Legends, but for any games that UNM Esports plays, we are always looking for shoutcasters to try and get our streaming experience top tier. And still no one is streaming on Discord, so you can't, like, the one thing I wish they could implement for Clash, I know it doesn't matter, as I would love to be able to see champion select as just a spectator. Just tell them to come to Twitch. I mean, that would it would be weird, but it would technically work. Looks like I'm seeing in the Discord they're going to be banning Yone, Victor, and Lulu. Lulu, a decently top tier support. Probably the best out of any of the Enchanter supports at the moment. Nami, I think, at an almost exactly 50% win rate. Janna is, you have to be really good at Janna to be good at the moment. That's mostly because the one thing that is meta for supports right now is engage. You're seeing a lot of Alistar, Set, Nautilus, a decent amount of Rel as a counter to any of those, since she's pretty decent into those tank supports, those engage supports. I'd imagine, I haven't looked at stats, I'd imagine Braum is probably pretty good just because Braum is good into Alistar and into Nautilus and things like that. Those are your main supports that you're going to be seeing at the moment. Of course, you can, especially in elos that it doesn't matter, you can play other things. Like below, I'm going to say Diamond, you can play whatever. And even above Diamond, you can play whatever. Just don't expect to be... You've popped out to another window. Okay, so we are seeing... Yeah, there we go. Now I need to change the... Okay, we are in Champion Select. Perfect. First ban, and it looks like we were right. There's the Yone, the Victor, and the Lulu banned out for UNM Esports. Heimerdinger, Fiddlesticks, and Ramus banned out here for the other team. I did not see what they were called. Let's see if... What was the name of this second team? If they don't know, I'm just going to call them Team Gaming Gang. And we're going to be fine from there. Graves, first picked here from I Drink Bathwater. You know, I don't think that's... so I Drink Bathwater just messaged me that the name of the second team was PP Poo Poo Heads. But I don't think that's right, gamers. I mean, they might be called that, but I don't think they are. Anyways, I guess, okay, someone on UNM Esports has to be a Heimerdinger main. I think it's Little Willie 69, but I'm not actually entirely certain about who it is. But anyways, the Fiddlesticks taken away from Didicus. That's reasonable based on last game, I'm going to say. Ramus, I'm not sure about that ban. Jin picked up here, and Hecarim picked up as the jungler for this red side. Fairly decent, good champions. Jin, of course, number 180 carry. We saw that from last game. Absolutely bonkers, that champion. The response is the Kaisa and the Nautilus. I'd say that's about right if we just go down tier lists, frankly. And a Sylas picked up here in... I'm going to assume that's a mid lane Sylas. You can play at top lane. And last I checked, a few patches back, Sylas jungle was actually the worst jungler in the game. So, I mean, it could be that with a Hecarim top, but I really don't think it is. Lux, the next man here from UNM Esports, an Olaf and a Pantheon taken out on the side of this red team. 3 bans thrown at Didicus. I'm not entirely certain why, and those aren't... Well, I suppose the Pantheon isn't really a ban at Didicus, and those are really just kind of meta bans, the Olaf and the Pantheon. The Olaf, I think, is the best jungler at the moment, just based on strict win rates. It's like a 54% or something like that, and Pantheon is hugely annoying in that top and that mid position. And oh my god, we got a Nami. Let's go, gamers. My favorite champion. I know I have like 800,000 mastery points on this champion. I know a thing or two about Nami, let me say. And so we'll get some top tier Nami analysis in this game. Basically, imagine when Captain Flowers is casting and a Skarner is picked and he loses his mind. That's what I'm doing right now. Ornn and Diana picked up to round out the comps of UNM Esports. I assume that is a Graves jungle and not a Diana jungle. I don't think Diana jungle's been meta for years. It could be, but I don't think so, especially not with the mini rework that she's had. Aurelia rounding out the comp for this red team. And the red team, it's going to be a huge team fight comp, but they don't actually have a front line to protect the Jhin. So it's a very skirmish heavy team comp. You can kind of see if you just look to the right, just ignore all of those the runes and masteries being locked in. This is who's picking this? I think this is Ornn. I don't know anything about Ornn, so I have to assume that these are the best. Seems to be deciding between bone plating and demolish, deciding to go to bone plating. Just thinking that he's not going to have any sort of priority in that lane, and that's probably right against Aurelia. So we will be able to talk a little bit more about this game. I'm in the correct mode now. All right, so Yellow Cactus versus Blade Surge. It's a little bit frightening that the Aurelia main, Blade Surge, I have to imagine that is an Aurelia main, was able to get their main champion. In this elo, that's one of the scariest things, and one of the best strategies you can actually do in university level League of Legends and also like Clash, in my opinion, is you ban out the one tricks. Because generally, if you're a plat 1 or like a diamond 4 one trick, you're really only diamond 4 on that one champion, and you're going to be like half a division lower, I would say, on anything else. So it's actually just based on pure skill level. It's probably the best to ban the one trick, even if there's someone else that you're a little bit afraid of, just because that will really help out whatever lane it is, because they will always go for their one trick in Clash or in ULOL or whatever tournament. Doesn't really matter. And then, let's see, top lane, it's going to be a little bit hard of a lane of the Ornn into the Aurelia. I think Aurelia should win that. I'm a Nami main. I don't know anything about top or mid lane matchups, frankly. I would imagine that this is going to be similar to the last game. Yellow Cactus is going to be down in CS in the lane, and then is going to be significantly more effective coming out of lane. The one problem with that is that Aurelia is a strong team fighter. Like, this isn't going to be an Aatrox where, you can whiff a team fight and be useless. Aurelia is pretty good at not doing that. I mean, mostly just because of her ult. You have to be kind of dumb to miss it. Compared to Aatrox ult, which is just a move speed steroid, basically. Next, it's going to be Didicus versus TPG Seawolf. Graves versus Hecarim. That's really just going to be a skill matchup. The Hecarim should be able to get off a little bit easier ganks, but this Graves isn't going to. We saw Graves from the last game really popping off. It was, of course, PPSU piloting that Graves, but it's, not that big of a deal. Oh, wait, no. Now we're loading it. Okay. Anything interesting? Yes. This exhaust on Nami. That is interesting. Although, oh, and we're already in. I guess no one on either team has bad computers. We are in game. TCG. We don't know what they're called, so we're just gonna call the enemy team Team Gaming Gang. And because that's who they are. They are Team Gaming Gang. And it looks like UNM Esports is going for the same 5-man death ball that they went in game 1, hoping that no one will place a cheeky ward over the brush. Hecarim, seeing that they're not in the top side, that should be assumed, I would guess, getting that ward in. Now the Hecarim is going to back and switch over to a sweeper. I Drink Bathwater does have hook, and UNM Esports are looking for this. Flashing forward, getting the hook onto the Jhin. This could be big. He does have flash. Graves jumping over the wall. That is an ignite going down. A big knock-up, and that's first blood going over to Little Willie 69. Pretty much the exact person you wanted to go over onto if you are an UNM Esports fan. And although a lot was burned on UNM's side and for nothing for Team Gaming Gang, it was all on I Drink Bathwater. So it doesn't it does matter. You can attack a Nautilus. He has the lowest move speed in the game base. He can hook out of things, but it's very easy to body block the hook. So the thing that he's like, you can early gank this Nautilus and just target the Nautilus. Okay, he doesn't have flash. Just go for the Nautilus, and I think that's what Team Gaming Gang should do. I want to see, in the next 5 minutes, I want to see TPG Seawolf come down and see if they can punish that invade from UNM Esports. Whether or not they will, I don't know, but that is the correct thing to do if you are Team Gaming Gang in this particular game. Roadhog, getting hooked up. And this is the problem with playing Nami into a Nautilus. Nami is not great into engage supports. You are fairly squishy, and unless you get a lot of poke damage down early, there isn't much you can do. So this is actually going to be a fairly rough lane for Nami. I didn't actually notice that my scoreboard was still messed up for the other team. Oh my god, that's so many hooks landed right in a row. Shirino does still have flash and heal. Let's see if he decides to use it. I Drink Bathwater should have hook available, and that's a double kill. The heal, or the flash, just very late. Void spikes coming down. Little Willie 69, 3-0 here at 3 minutes into the game. He should be poised to take over this game, honestly. Now it's really imperative, I would say, for TPG Seawolf to come in and bail out this bot lane. It is generally a bad idea to gank losing lanes, and that's why he probably shouldn't. However, because he's Hecarim, he should be able to assassinate the Kaisa on UNM Esports fairly easily. Pre-6, I'd say. Like, if Hecarim's able to get a really early 6 and then gets that onslaught of shadows and just beeline straight for Little Willie 69, he should be able to do it. Of course, Little Willie 69 does have both flash and heal. This game has really just been... I Drink Bathwater has done a superb job of hitting his anchors. That was 3 right in a row. Onto the Nami. The Nami just never deciding to flash, never using the exhaust, and getting burned down by I Drink Bathwater and by Little Willie 69. Alright, so and this is now a really awful lane position for Team Gaming Gang in the bot side. Yellow Cactus holding his own really easily against Cheese. Cheese. Technically, I don't think that's pronounceable in the English language because it's all consonants. So we're just gonna call him Chiz. Cheese. I don't want to say cheese, but that might be how it's pronounced. Shotaro. This is an awful lane position here for, as I was saying before I got distracted. This is an awful lane position here for Team Gaming Gang, just because it's going to be frozen right here the entire time. There goes Aqua Prison. This is an insane hook rate from I Drink Bathwater, and this is just going to be such an easy lane now. That was the flash. That was basically everything left used by the bot lane of Team Gaming Gang. While that's happening, I guess a gank came top. I would assume Yellow Cactus just didn't even blow his Oran Horn. They were probably just skirmishing. Didicus came up, got the kill, and this is an unmitigated disaster here for Team Gaming Gang. 4-0, 2K up. Really, the only shining light for this team is Blade Surge in the mid lane, forcing that flash out of PPSU. 20 CS up, but as long as PPSU doesn't die repeatedly over and over and is able to scrape some amount of lane pressure off the ground here, it doesn't matter. As long as Aurelia doesn't get so fed that she just takes over the game, it's going to be really hard to combat this 3-0 Kai'Sa. This Graves is 1-0. TPG Seawolf going in, finding Didicus. Blade Surge is there. Didicus actually getting all of his chickens there, I think. Now PPSU is here. Oran Horn coming down. Blade Surge, first one on the chopping block. She's not long for this world. Yellow Cactus able to get that. And then on the other side of the map, or on the other side of that fight, Little Willie 69 does have to use heal, but he's able to pick up TPG Seawolf on the other end. 6-0 here for UNM Esports, going right over to that first dragon. Not quite on spawn, but a 7-minute dragon isn't anything to scoff at. PPSU now in a decently okay position in the mid lane, will be able to dump this wave into the tower and get a okay reset. Didicus going very low, does have smite, is able to secure that first dragon. Now 4-0-1, a 400 gold shutdown. The Noon Quiver completed, the Berserker's Greaves completed, and Chiz is not having a good time. Yellow Cactus just doing half the HP of this Silas here in the top lane. Silas is just kind of missing everything, and then getting whacked with Brittle Stacks. I Drink Bathwater walking for Shotaro. Good dodge there. I think he would have died if that didn't happen. Roadhog missing another Aqua Prison. I don't think a single one has landed yet this game. And yes, I do know that here's a fun fact. That ability is not called Bubble. Some of you may think that Nami's Q is called Bubble, and that would be incorrect. It is actually called Aqua Prison. Subscribe to UNM Esports for more Nami facts. I Drink Bathwater flashing forward, dodging out of that Aqua Prison. Ebb and Flow going down, just barely getting rid of the shield there from I Drink Bathwater. And unfortunately, with that anchor toss not hitting, just a little bit of a taunt there. It's not going to be much. And another anchor toss blocked by a minion, and that's fine. UNM Esports probably have a lot of gold in the bank and just need to go and reset. They'll be able to come back and throw a few more anchors and just play a little bit more aggressively. One thing that I would like to shout out here for Team Gaming Gang's bot lane is they have not lost a single turret plate yet, and that's fairly impressive, honestly, going up against the 4-0-1 Kai'Sa. You would expect the Kai'Sa to kind of always have lane priority, and I mean, she always has had lane priority. She's always been winning, but she hasn't knocked down any turret plates. So although the Kai'Sa's ahead, 5 CS, not that big of a deal there. 4 kills, that's a big deal there. This isn't as big of a lead as it's going to balloon to be in the next, I'm going to say, 5 or so minutes. If Didicus is able to just trail the spot lane and make them super comfy at walking forward to hit this tower, they're going to be in a lot of pain. Little Willie 69 using everything to dodge out from that Aqua Prison. TPG Seawolf trying to get something there onto Little Willie 69. PP2 going in, able to get one onto TPG Seawolf, able to get two actually onto Roadhog, and now I Blade Surge going to die. End of the line coming down from Didicus trying to steal that one out, but Little Willie 69 actually able to pick that one up. And even though everything was committed to kill Little Willie 69, he basically just flashed out, used his ult, and he was fine. The rest of his team came to help him. And this has just gone from bad to worse. Honestly, a 4,000 gold lead at 10 minutes. I don't think you could really come back from that. If this was a scrim, you actually just alt tab here and you go, okay, go next. Like, there's nothing. That fight there was kind of Team Gaming Gang's last chance into this game. They, you know, you skirmish there, you try and burn everything you can to try and get the kill onto Little Willie 69. If you win that team fight, or if you win that skirmish, or honestly even go even, you're in such a better position than you are right now. I mean, you're not in a good position, but the game's significantly, like, it's okay. You go, okay, it's only 10 minutes. It's fine. We just need to keep doing that. You know, keep trading evenly. We'll get their shutdowns, and we'll be okay. The fake Ornhorn coming down in the bot lane does get the knock up. TPG Seawolf is here. His move speed steroid didn't last long enough, and he's just going to force the flash out of Yellow Cactus and then walk away. All in all, decent gank from TPG. There was the... Oh, no. Tidal Wave going out, but that was an excellent depth charge. Shotaro going to be the first one to go down. Little Willie 69 dominating. That was actually, I think, the first... Oh, no, Roadhog, you cannot win that. Prey Seeker coming down, getting that kill as well. I don't know why she opted into that fight. She finally hit one of the Aqua Prisons. And here, Yellow Cactus has no mana. And the burn down, actually, is going to kill Chiz. And that is not good for Team Gaming Gang. Second dragon of the game going to be picked up right on spawn here by Didicus and the squad. 12 and a half minutes into the game, 12 kills to 0, 6,000 gold lead here for UNM Esports. I Drink Bathwater and Didicus really need to step up, honestly. Everyone else on their team does have shutdowns, and it's a little embarrassing, honestly, that, you know, they're getting carried like 0-0 and 8. Like, I mean, that's pretty good, but when you look in your supports or your 80 carries, 7-0 and 3, like, come on, step it up, man. I'm, of course, being 100% sarcastic. TPC Seawolf almost just inted there, I'm going to say. I don't think he knew that Oh, he did just int there. Trying to use the Onslaught of Shadows. Unfortunately for him, it did go on cooldown, so it didn't even escape with it. Oh, no. Anchor cost going down into the depth charge. I Drink Bathwater able to get that kill on the Sige. The depth charge was stolen there by Sige. It just didn't matter. I Drink Bathwater, I think, took more damage from the turret doing that dive than from the Silas. UNM Esports, unfortunately, not able to do the full-on 15 turret plates. Aqua Prison coming down, trying to see if he could bait out that headbutt, not headbutt, that, like, whatever the anvil smash thing is called when you go unstoppable and hit a pillar. I don't know my Orn mechanics. I should. Trying to bait that out, not quite able to get it. I Blade Surge, not being particularly synergistic with his team. Everyone else on Team Gaming Gang, of course, 0-3 and 0. I Blade Surge deciding not to be and only going 0-2 and 0. The real question here is going to be who's the first one on UNM Esports to die. I'm going to say, let's see. Well, Chiz is just going to die here. The Prey Seeker does go down. The ultimate comes down as well, and that's a solo kill, the AD carry for the top laner. Not entirely certain about the Silas pickup. I think I want to say he's a high-level champion right now. The Ornhorn coming down, and Shotaro going to die before the tidal wave even hits anyone on that team. TPG Seawolf looking for the 1v1 into Little Willie 69, but because there are no... the flash and the heal needing to be used, but because there were no minions there, red minions, the Q from Kaisa was just going to only target TPG Seawolf. So going into that 1v1 in the minion wave was not really what he wanted. Plus being 0-4-0, you don't have any damage. Luckily, for Little Willie 690, wasn't really in any danger. Sij, and that's the surrender. For some reason, surrender votes kind of break the spectator client, and at 15 and 45, no one on UNM Esports died that game. A 10k gold deficit. Really, I said clean gaming from them last game. But this was really, I mean, you literally can't get more clean than not dying. I mean, I guess you could argue that they didn't get all 15 turret plates before 14 minutes, but they got, I think, 11 of them. They were at 17 kills at the end of this game. Virtually, the support did more damage than everyone except for the Silas, and you can chalk that up to because top lane is you just throw your abilities at each other. This was a disaster from Team Gaming Gang, honestly. Like, that is yikes. Okay, so the one thing that I would like to point out that Roadhog did wrong, besides getting hooked like 4 times in a row by the anchor toss, I don't particularly like the Tear of the Goddess onto Nami. It takes up, while it does give you mana, you're never actually using so much mana or so many abilities that it's necessary. Hold on. We need to go UNM lead 2. Perfect. You're not actually using enough mana that it's particularly necessary to go tier. And additionally, you're never going to get the item that tier upgrades, whether you're going Archangels or Muramana, whichever you want to go. It doesn't really matter. I would imagine you go Archangels. You're not going to get that until super late game. So you're just taking up another item spell slot or an item slot in this game that supports are already really pinched on item slots. So while yes, the mana is good, you're never using so much mana that you can't just back on reasonable buy times and, you know, take it. Or, you know, just refill your mana while you're backing. Yeah, your income graph kind of shows this game, how the support on UNM had almost more money than anyone on the enemy team. Let's look at Vision score. Yeah, that's about right. Yeah, that's about right. Ooh, interesting. Nami actually got 3 wards destroyed. It doesn't really matter. Healing done. Well, that's actually quite a bit from Hecarim. Let's see. They are still scouting for Clash. I don't see anyone streaming. So we are going to just sit and chillax for a little bit while we just kind of sit around and wait for hello chat room. Should I do it? There's a stream delay, so I need How's it going? How do you like that game? The I Drank Bathwater is asking for some pogs for Little Willie 69. So can we get some poggers in the chat? And no, you can't actually get any poggers in the chat. I Drink Bathwater. Also, why is there doo-doo butter? 0069. That's pretty good. I don't know what mine is. All right, there's some pogs. Still just scouting for Clash. I don't know why anyone would ever want this. Like, I've never looked at anyone who's been like, yeah, this stats page, this is useful information in a way that I want to see it. Like, literally no one. I guess if you're doing, like, stats, like, actual stats for, like, Riot games, you might want it. If you're in the LCS, you need these numbers. But otherwise, like, you're always just going to click over to graphs. You're never not going to click over to graphs here. I also, like, they even know this because they made it so that your total damage to champions is the first thing that pops up when you click over on graphs. I guess we can look at the, I am streaming so you can see the bracket. Okay. Fine. We'll watch your stream, Yellow Cactus. Not like I want to, Baka. And there we go. So we're against Sub now. SUB. UNM Sub. Ah! It was known. It was known. UNM Sub coming from downtown, closed due to coronavirus, but here in this game back. Going down to Louis' lair in the UNM Sub in this game. Diamond 4, Diamond 2, Diamond 1, Plat 1. You know, I'm thinking Jen the Ren God might be a Smurf here, fellas. If I were to guess, I think Jen the Ren God might be they might be a Smurf here, my fellas. Either that or they my guy's name. Yeah, that is pretty unfortunate that is the name of that man, and I will have to cast it. And yeah. That's not a great name. It's not as good as the when Azael and who was the other guy? I said his name, Captain Flowers, when Azael and Captain Flowers did their Silver 2 streams. And they said, and they played against, I think the guy's name was I don't know if I should actually say this in the game, but it was Daddy Fat, name for a phallus. And Captain Flowers had to, of course, say that name. So I think we'll be okay here, my gamers. Flay away with that many mastery points on Thresh makes me think that might be a Thresh main. Scroom, probably the top laner. That's 700,000 mastery points on Darius. That should probably be banned out. Jen the Ren God, again. Well, actually, we can look this up. We can op.gg and we go, what is it? Jen the Ren God. And okay, no, they're level, if you look, I don't think they're a Smurf because they're level 783. So they probably just have not played much this season. That's probably only why they have one game. Anyways, we're in Champion Select. I'm seeing in the Discord call that Darius, Camille, and Victor, Swain, and Rel. I'm actually not entirely certain which of the 3 champions they are going to ban. They put 6 in the chat, so that's a little bit confusing. Let's see. Victor, the first ban. Nautilus being banned out by SUB here in this game. Then the Scarecrow being taken away from Didicus. Swain, the next ban here for UNM Esports. And these bans are just coming out 1, 2, 3. Graves, next one picked off by SUB. And Rel banned out. If this is not a first pick Darius, I'm going to be very surprised. The man has 700,000 mastery points on Darius. Darius is like a tier 1 champion at the moment. Maybe tier 2. He's relatively strong in the meta. And Rengar is the actual first pick. I think Rengar is the jungler's one-trick pony. I think Rengar is also fairly strong in the meta as well. A little bit less so than a couple of the other AD junglers that you could be playing. I think Kha'Zix might be a little bit better. I would expect, Jhin here coming out for it. Little Willie 69. That's not particularly surprising based on the past 2 games. Jhin is very high in prio. And then the Pantheon being picked up, most likely going to be for Yellow Cactus, but that could also go to Pipisu in the mid lane. Alistar is going to be the hover here for the sub team. S tier, top tier, tier 1 support in Alistar. Wouldn't be surprised if they lock that in. They're deciding to use up all of their time to talk about what the next pick is. I would imagine a Samira is going to come out right now. That's probably the next champion down if we're just going tier lists. I would imagine that they want to also pick their entire bot lane here if you go jungle and the bot lane, leaving your 2 solo lanes for the next draft stage inside Kai'Sa coming out. That's also acceptable. Additionally, a high tier champion. Kai'Sa and a lot of games you're seeing these days are Kai'Sa and Jhin matchups. It's a little boring, but, what are you going to do? Lulu actually coming out here for I Drink Bathwater. Interesting. We had only seen him before on the Nautilus, but instead deciding to take the Lulu into the Alistar. Not a particularly conventional Alistar counter. You can do it. That is the thing with all those mage supports. If you're able to poke out the engage support before they go in, you can win that matchup because if they engage, they die. I think you might also, if you're quick enough, be able to polymorph the headbutt pulverize combo of an Alistar and stop the pulverize. I'm not entirely certain about that, but you might be able to do it. Alistar, of course, is going to be able to Unbroken Will out of that polymorph. So this one is a bit of a skill matchup. Alistar, Kai'Sa, good. I'd say that's a very strong lane. And then Jhin, Lulu, also strong. While all that was while I was talking about all of that, a Cassio ban and then a Darius ban seems fairly reasonable, seeing that the Darius had 7,000 mastery points, and Cassio is, I think, just a kind of obnoxious champion to play against. Diana being banned out, and then the Ornn. That is almost the entire team of the last game, which I honestly think is not a terrible idea. If you get to 2-0 in Clash, one of your best strategies is to just ban out things that they won on previously, push them down onto other champions that they are not hot on at the moment. Like, I think the Nautilus ban is good just because that gets I Drink Bathwater onto something else. It doesn't really matter what. It just gets him onto something else. You can't just go Nautilus and play Nautilus 3 times and win. You can't just play Fiddlesticks again and win. No more Graves, that sort of thing. Renekton top. Fairly strong champion at the moment. We saw it played by Someday in the last game of LCS against CLG today. To not great effect, it turns out it's Renekton's really bad if you force Renekton to go into the side lane and just play weak side the entire time. Like, if you pick the counter and then you go play weak side on Renekton, the Renekton's going to be useless. Seraphine mid actually coming out here for SUB. That seems to be a fairly good champion. Galio going to be the counter matchup into that, unless it is a Pantheon mid. Wait, no, that's a Pantheon jungle and then a Galio mid. That is odd. Pantheon can jungle. Not the greatest jungler, I would say, in the current meta. It's fine. It's decent. The saving grace for Pantheon is that Pantheon is very strong. It doesn't really matter what position you're playing him in, because you're just really strong as a champion. You get the buff of being, you are a Pantheon in a game of League of Legends. Playing at jungle is a little bit suboptimal, I'd say, but it's fine. It's not anything that you need to be particularly worried about. We're going to stop watching, exit out, and spectate I Drink Bathwater. And we have another 3 minutes to talk about it. Jen the Ren... Oh, yeah, I guess it makes sense that, the guy whose name is Rengod is playing Rengar. I guess that... Yeah, that makes sense now that I think about it. Mid lane Seraphine going into Pipisu. It's kind of suboptimal to play Seraphine in the mid lane. I think she's much better of a support, but after the recent changes to her, she's decent in the mid lane. I don't think that she's S tier or really even A tier. I think that she's an okay pick in that lane. Galio apparently fairly high in priority. I didn't know that was a thing before this tournament right now, seeing as we've seen 2 of them out of 6 possible picks in the mid lane. Honor the support and Flay away. I believe Thresh was up, but deciding not to pick Thresh in this team comp. I actually think that Thresh would have been really good here. Of course, they didn't know that picking into it, but a Thresh into Lulu is going to be so much harder for the Lulu than the Alistar, just because of the hook, really. The Alistar is going to be able to headbutt Pulverize and then use his stun to lock up that Lulu, but it's not quite as effective as a tool as the Death Sentence Flay combo that you can do. I'd say that this bot lane is relatively even. Little Willie 69 and I Drink Bathwater should have the push early and probably have the push later as well. Alistar, not the strongest lane champion into a Lulu. Lulu and Jhin are some of the strongest laning supports and AD carries, respectively. So they should have this lane on lock. Of course, Alistar is good at countering Lulu, but I think all in all, the bot lane should go in the favor of UNM Esports. I've already said that I don't know anything about the top lane. I think Rengar into Mordekaiser is a counter matchup for the Mordekaiser. Skaroom should be able to win this lane fairly handily. Mordekaiser, however, is going to be, again, like everything they've played, Mordekaiser is going to be super impactful in the what do you call it? Team fights. Because, sorry, my brain is slowly melting down after give or take 2 hours of continuously talking. Oh, that's an interesting clan name. I liked it when it was UNM sub. That's a lot funnier. Yeah. Where's my cursor? Okay. In-game. And we need to flip. There we go. Again, they're going to be Team Gaming Gang because I didn't know that their name was going to be... We're going to turn off chats, on objective timers, and time controls. There are hotkeys for that I should learn, but until then, I don't want to. I drink bathwater. Not quite defending. This is a very weird invade pattern because they're also somewhat defending this second entrance, or you could call it the first entrance. On the top side, it looks like SUB is going to be looking for a cheeky invade here to get a ward onto the red buff. They should be going soon because they're going to run out of time to back if they want to do that. So it looks like they're just not going to do that. I suppose with the jungler up there, wouldn't it make sense to back anyways? Let's just fix this scoreboard a little bit. I don't know why the scoreboard, like, the client should know that, like, you queue up for a position in Clash. The client should know and just put you in that position, right? Like, there's no reason for it to not, but whatever. We're fine. We're in game 3, 2-0 versus 2-0. This one's for all the marbles. Not much particularly interesting happening here in the first 2 minutes of the game. Not that you would really expect it to. This lane in the bot lane is going to be very volatile come level 2. Kaisa usually very good at pushing out level 1. Jhin, of course, also very good, getting a lot of damage, AoE, kind of, onto 4 different targets with his Q Pipisu, figuring out that that's a really dumb champion and getting a lot of damage back. And it looks like the bot lanes are going to hit 2 at virtually the same time, so nothing is going to really come of it. Headbutt Pulverize going in, getting Lulu. She's going to help Pix herself, mixing the Transmogrify on the bottom. Little Willy 69 is going to get ignited, and both AD carries are going down to about 25%. Exhausts and ignites down, and I'd say that's probably better for sub, seeing that Pipisu I was getting the flash out of the Seraphine here. Flyaway flashing forward, getting the headbutt back into Honor the Sport. Little Willy 69 flashing forward, getting the heal. I drink Bathwater full HP, looking for a little bit more. They might be able to get something onto Flyaway. He did, in fact, just use his everything. Honor the Support flashing forward, but he flashed forward into minions. Not able to get anything because of that. And Little Willy 69 did have the 4th shot and is going to get first blood there. Going over to UNM Esports. I'm going to say that was just a bit of a misplay. Didicus coming and jumping onto the Seraphine. She's going to go down. Didicus slaying that champion. And this might be 2 kills. Jen, the Ren God, going in. Didicus having to flash out. He's going to go down. Scroom is here first. Jen the Ren God showing that he is in fact the Ren God, getting 2 kills, and now this might be a third. Yellow Cactus does in fact have flash. No, he does. No, wait, no, he does. That's an unfortunate time for Jen the Ren God to DC. I think it would have been the 3 kills there for Yellow Cactus. And this, we're seeing why you want to ban those one tricks, because they're so good at those champions. He knew exactly how to go into the bushes, where to position in order to get maximum damage there onto the Rengar, or as the Rengar, and now he's 2 kills up. Cheeky pull in. Pipisu getting a taunt there onto the Seraphine. Seraphine trading a little bit of damage back. Didicus getting a good stun, and this should be a dead flay away. Heal coming down, flashing forward from I Drink Bathwater, maybe trying to get the polymorph down onto Honor the support and look for a second kill, but that's actually kind of big, getting the flash down from the Lulu. She's now going to be a lot more vulnerable to the headbutt pulverize combo of the Alistar. Little Willie 69 going to be up about 2 or 3 CS here if he gets all of them. Not that big of a deal. Lulu pinging that the Mountain Dragon is alive, and it is in fact alive. Pantheon 2 and 1 to try and fight Jen the Ren God, also 2-0. All in all, a fairly even matchup. 500 golds separates the 2 teams. Flay away and Honor the support, trying to get cheeky with the minion waves, and I Drink Bathwater and Little Willie 69 will be backing here. No, they just canceled. I Drink Bathwater trying to back. I'm not entirely certain what they're doing down there, deciding to stay for another wave. Maybe looking for Prio on Dragon. I don't really know. I Drink Bathwater, you probably don't want to be that far forward. You don't have flash. You can't get out of a headbutt pulverize combo if you needed to. Little Willie 69 and I Drink Bathwater deciding that that is good. High note coming down. This is just barely not going to hit that Seraphine there. Otherwise, that may have just been a kill there onto the Pop Star in the mid lane. Not much has happened in this game so far. I say that as 5 kills have happened in 6.5 minutes. The gold lead has more or less evened up. I think that's mostly just all CS dips. I imagine that's probably going to continue in the way that it is. These matchups don't get easier as the game goes on. I'm going to say with the exception of bot lane, I think Jin and Lulu does actually get better as the game progresses to a point. Once they're able to really buff up that Jin, get a lot of damage, going in on him is still good, but if you're not able to burst down that Jin, he's going to return so much damage onto whoever goes in. Alistar, of course, able to survive a lot of burst, so it's not that big of a deal. Scroom deciding that he wants this 1v1. Not entirely certain why he just kind of walked around the passive Mordekaiser. He took like half of his HP for kind of no reason. Rengar using his ult down in the bot lane, looking for Lulu. Jen the Rengar away from a lot of things. Taunted up, and he's going to die here. Shutdown going on to Didicus, and that should be first dragon for UNM Esports. Probably going to get it right about 8 minutes. It's a decent, that Justice Punch just barely did not hit Seraphine here in the mid lane. That's a decently quick first dragon, on par if they get everything right on cooldown. That'll be a 25-ish minute soul, whatever soul it decides to be. I Drink Bathwater going very far forward. We actually want to go and look. And it's going to either be an Infernal or a Ocean Soul here in this game. Both are good. I don't think either particularly benefits either team. A fun fact about having a Ocean Soul with Rengar is, according to Riot Games, the Rengar is actually has a lower win rate on the Ocean Soul map despite there being more bushes. Analysts think this might be because of the honey fruit, and by analysts, I think this was Jat saying something like this. I'm going to say almost a year ago. So that may have changed. I can't imagine it would have, but we'll find out. I'm rooting for Infernal Soul. Get rid of all the bushes. No bushes for the Rengar to jump out of, and it's funny. Yellow Cactus really starting to win this matchup. I didn't expect that to happen. Didicus here is hovering. If that grasp hit, I think that would have been a dead Scroom. CS more or less even here in the top lane. About 5 CS does separate them. That's a decent amount of gold, but as the game goes on, it becomes less and less of an issue. That's about a little bit under 150 gold. While that is a big deal in the early game, once you get enough CS, that's not that big of a deal. About 15 CS lead here in the mid lane. PPC not having the most fun time against a pop star here. That's what you would expect, a chicken versus a pop star. I mean, yeah, the pop star is gonna win that matchup. Like, it's not rocket science. Like, a chicken, it's tasty and deep fried, but you know, the pop star will be able to just kick them a little bit, or screech at them, I guess, as Seraphine does. Yeah, Scroom really just not having a good time here. Justice Punch not quite hitting. Downbeat does come down. It's really hard to not say that, and that's Dominus coming out. Yellow Cactus does have the 1v1 ability if he wants this. I think he just wants to wait for the Dominus to go down, and that's a flash forward getting the Q, and Yellow Cactus officially in control of this lane, does get a turret plate for his troubles as well. And 1-0-0. This counter matchup, or I think what should be a counter matchup, is not doing what it should be, if that's the case. Little Willie 69 here, down a little bit in CS, but that isn't the biggest deal in the world. Flay away, flashing forward. Little Willie 69 using his flash to get out as well. Curtain has been called. Yellow Cactus did TP down. Not going to get the kill on Flay away. I don't think. He's just coming out of the ultimate. He's going to die. Seraphine came down as well. Did get the ult off. Got 2 people there. She is still trying to get a little bit downbeat, coming down, not getting as much of a base drop as she would want. Now PPC and Didicus looking for more. They might just dive the Seraphine, and she backed off just in time. Didicus and PPC now looking for Jen the Rengod. Overall, I think that was a 1-for-1. Yellow Cactus going down in a trade of honor the support. I think is what happened there. Scroom having the time of his life, just CSing a little bit more on the top side. Going to get himself at least 2 turret plates here for his troubles. And UNM Esports up to a 500 gold lead. Not that big of a deal, just shrank down to about 300 here. And this game is still very close despite a dragon and 3 kills separating the team. Scroom going in, Graps is picking him up, and Scroom is going to take a lot of damage from that Mordekaiser passive. Yellow Cactus having a really good time here in this top lane. I'm going to say, have the junglers really done much? There was the attempted gank from the Rengar in the bot lane that they just walked away from. Didicus was there in the bot lane there. I think he might have gotten a kill or an assist, but not a super gank heavy lane or game here. A little bit surprising just based on the champions pick. You would expect Didicus here on this Pantheon to really just be dishing out the ganks before that champion falls off. Turret plate's going to fall in 30 seconds, and it looks like 2 have been taken for the side of UNM Esports as opposed to 4 or 5 here for Sub flay away, looking for a little bit. Not able to get the headbutt pulverize combo. He now needs to use his ultimate to get out of everything. Gale forcing forward. Jen, the Ren God, is here now. I Drink Bathwater does have the giant growth pay 1G +3/+3. So they should be fine, even if Jen, the Ren God does jump in on them. And PPC seems to have stabilized a little bit here in the mid lane. Now down to, it's still a pretty significant gold disadvantage. 35 CS, not great. Jen, the Ren God, keeps trying to gank this bot lane, and it keeps not working, buddy. Go somewhere else. Like, just gank somewhere else. I know you can't gank a Mordekaiser, but, like, gank Pipisu. Just, like, you have so much utility on the Seraphine in the mid lane. Like, just gank Pipisu. It's not that big of a deal. I don't know why Jen, the Ren God is dumping all of his time into the bot lane, and it's not working. That's the second time he's used his ultimate to look for something in the bot lane, and it just hasn't worked. I Drink Bathwater and Little Willie 69 just walk away. I don't know if he needs to use the ultimate later, really try and surprise him with it. Yellow Cactus throwing down the pizza zone, going into the 1v1. Scroom here, probably gonna die here as soon as he gets out of it. Didicus is here, and Yellow Cactus getting the kill onto Scroom. That should be a lot of damage here onto that turret. Scroom does have teleport, but it is 20 seconds until he is up. Seraphine continues to be annoying here in the mid lane. A lot of wave clear on that champion. Jen, the Ren God, hopping up into the top side to defend this turret from Yellow Cactus. 2 1-1 on the Ace of Iron, Ace of something like that. I don't know what his actual title is. No one cares about the titles in League of Legends. They're like lore. It's like kind of there, but like no one actually cares. 16 minutes into the game, 10 kills into the game, 3-7. 2 dragons going into the favor of UNM Esports on their way to a very quick Infernal Soul if they want one. Still pretty much dead even on gold. UNM does have 4 more kills, but these CS leads for sub have been pretty massive. That's 30 CS in the bot lane, 50 CS in the mid lane, 10 CS in the jungle, and then I guess it would be -10 in the top lane, as Yellow Cactus is the only one on his team with a CS lead. He's of course trying to bail them out, and some of these CS leads aren't that big of a deal. 9 CS Pantheon versus Rengar, that doesn't really matter. 50 CS, that's a big deal. I'd classify that as a big deal, TM. Scroom trying to do something cheeky with the wave, but I don't think you want to do that, buddy. This Mordekaiser will kill you, as he has. Scroom deciding to go in, did tick over to level 11, does have that rank 2 ultimate available to him now. A little suspect. We'll see if anything happens here. All in all, this seems to just be a game where both sides are fairly content to just farm it out. Unfortunately for sub, they're losing in the dragon stack. If UNM is able to get this 3rd dragon that's spawning here in 1 minute, as I think they will be able to, this is going to be really bad for sub. They're going to be down 3 dragons and will have to fight for every single one of them for the rest of the game. We see pings from both teams coming down at 43 seconds, that both teams are aware of this dragon and how important it is. That's currently seems to be the win con for UNM Esports. Not entirely certain what the win con for sub is here. I suppose getting the Rengar ahead. Didicus is here going to jump onto Jen the Rengar. Jen the Rengar just going to pretty cleanly QSS that. Yellow Cactus going to get the first tower of the game. Rengar is, of course, making his way downtown, walking fast, as he is pretty much already at the dragon right on spawn, and that may be a problem for UNM Esports, as Yellow Cactus will need to use his teleport. UNM Esports are not going to get this dragon. The sub is just burning it all the way down, deciding it does not matter, and they're going to trade turret damage for it, burning the teleport from Scroom to make sure that another turret does not go down tier 2 in the top lane. But Yellow Cactus doing a huge amount of damage, getting a lot of solo XP. Yellow Cactus throwing down the 1v1 field. Scroom just walking out of it. Level 13 to level 11. Level 13, Yellow Cactus is tied for the highest level in the game. Him and that Seraphine in the mid lane are both level 13. Next, of course, would be PPSU, and Scroom just ticked over to level 12. Interesting. I'm interested to see what the lane assignments here are going to be. Yellow Cactus really is the power point on the team at the moment. Scroom is not able to stop him. They need to send at least 2 people. However, he's still Mordekaiser, so it will always be a 1v1, even if they send 2 people. And also because all of the elders, except for that mid lane, are down for sub, UNM has a weird time kind of split pushing at this point in the game, which is what Yellow Cactus really wants to do. He wants to sit down in that bot lane or the top lane, doesn't matter, and just grab turrets. The rest of his team will try and collapse like PP. I guess that's kind of what they're going to do if this skirmish happens. PPSU and Didicus are going to be able to make it about halfway across the map very quickly if they have to save Mordekaiser. Mordekaiser also has a good stalling tool with saying 1v1 the IRL and putting down a 1v1 field. But also, it just feels a little... Didicus getting jumped on. PPSU now going in, does have the taunt, able to get only one person. Now the Seraphine using her ult, the grand entrance used defensively. Jen the Rengar going in, getting exhaust himself, and both teams kind of deciding to just go out. Little Willie 69 did get snared up there. Scroom's going to go down here. No, he does not actually. Just barely getting himself away from the Mordekaiser, almost losing that 1v1, deciding to slice and dice all the way out. Both top laners still have flash, so there wasn't much to do. PPSU deciding or trying to go in and get something. Little Willie 69 called down the curtain. Jen the Rengar is here. I Drink Bathwater does not have ultimate. And Jen the Rengar going to do a third of Little Willie 69's health, I guess. Like, it wasn't much. And he's just going to heal almost all of it back right now. Actually, pretty much all of it back right now. And that Rengar ult, again, pretty useless. Headbutt Pulverize going down onto Little Willie 69. Health picks coming out for him. And I Drink Bathwater able to body block that Prey Seeker. And not much else happens from Honor the support. I'm going to say since 6 minutes or so into this game, it's really slowed down. And now with 1 dragon to 2... neither team is going to get the soul anytime soon. The soonest it'll be for UNM Esports is like 34 minutes. The gold is so close and has been so close the entire game. And it's really just been a blow-for-blow game. I'm excited to see when it blows open. Someone's going to win a team fight. And it's going to be exciting. And I don't know when it's going to happen. Hopefully soon. Another thing, because it is past 24 minutes, give or take, in the game, Baron is now a easily doable objective for both teams. There's quite a bit of damage on both teams, and both should be able to do the Baron at almost any time. I would say that I would rather have a Kai'Sa doing the Baron than a Jhin, just because of her passive being able to get more stacks of Void Ooze or whatever it's called. Seraphine going into the 1v1 zone. She does have ult, does use it, does get Yellow Cactus under the turret, and he's taking a lot of turret damage. Grand Entrance coming in, not late really, I'm going to say, and that was a 1-for-1 Yellow Cactus going down for that Seraphine. Now PPC in a 3v1. He's not long for this world. Little Willie 69 going in, calling down the curtain. I'm not sure what caused him to stop it. Flayaway using the headbutt, pulverized on him. Didicus now the next one who's going to go down. He gets giant growth down. Flayaway so very close to dead, and now it's just the bot lane of UNM Esports. I Drink Bathwater getting split from his AD carry. Jen, the Ren God, forcing the flash out of Little Willie 69, and this should be the second dragon here for Sub. Again, a big fight, but only a 1,000 gold lead here now for Sub. Relatively large compared to the rest of the game, but at 25 minutes, not that big of a deal. Little Willie 69 and I Drink Bathwater, the only ones who have not died in this game so far. Scroom getting a decent amount of damage there onto that turret. Yellow Cactus went a little bit too ham in that fight, trying to get the kill down onto the Seraphine. Well, he was able to do it, but at the cost of his life, he tanked quite a bit of turret shots there, and this Seraphine does a lot of damage. 1, 2, and 3 on the Seraphine, although not a huge score line. Kai'Sa, probably going to be the next one in the sights, I would say, for Yellow Cactus. If he's able to get the 1v1 zone, if he calls down the 1v1 gods to 1v1 Kai'Sa IRL, I think he can win. Big Metal Mace beats Hot Void Girl, I'd say, in terms of strength. PP Sue going in, and actually, I did not notice that Kai'Sa did in fact pay the Mordekaiser tax and does have a QSS. That means she is 1,300 gold down, and the Mordekaiser is more or less useless against her. However, it does mean that the QSS is down. It seems to have about the same exact cooldown as the Mordekaiser ult. The Screech from Seraphine also going down there in that fight, not hitting anything. And I have a feeling we're not going to see anyone fight at all for the next 3 minutes, if even then. This has been a thinking man's game of League of Legends. Not the barn burner that we'd really love to see, but, well, it's more like a barn smolder, I'd say. 8-6, or 6-8. Still about 1,000 gold lead coming in the form or over to Sub. Starting fairly soon, if not now, the Barons can really start getting baited for little to no cost from either team, I'm going to say. With Alistar being very tanky, Rengar having a lot of HP himself, and the Renekton, they will be able to start threatening the Baron with 3 members. UNM Esports will probably start being able to threaten the Baron fairly soon, if not already. I mean, they can always threaten. Didicus is not the best tank for the Baron. The Pantheon does get quite low while doing Baron, so they're going to need a few more members or a cleaner teamfight win. Lane assignments. Okay, honor the support, getting Gale Forced on. and not much happens. Okay, lane assignments. UNM Esports is throwing their bot lane into the mid lane. Their top lane is still trying to keep that bot lane turret alive. Still winning the 1v1 against Renekton. Yellow Cactus is just getting stronger. He's level 16, has access to the level 3 ult. I don't actually know what the level 3 ult does compared to the level 1 ult. I assume it lasts longer, or maybe you get more resists or something. I'm not entirely certain. PP Sue getting the Winds of War onto Honor the Support. 100 HP gone. Okay, Yellow Cactus going in, turning the 1v1 onto Honor the Support. Honor the Support uses the QSS and walks out. And everybody walks out. Okay, Yellow Cactus does not have ult for the next team fight, which is going to be in 30 seconds around this third dragon. Both teams want this, as they'll put them onto Soul Point. Maybe we will finally see a team fight, a good, honest 5-on-5. Everybody blows everything. I Drink Bathwater getting charmed up. The grand entrance does come down, but I Drink Bathwater is already dead. That's huge. Shroom is in the backline. Then Jen, the Ren God, able to kill Little Willie 69. PP Sue did die sometime in that Didicus. The next one who's going to get run down, slowed. Now he's going down. Double kill from Jen, the Ren God. Yellow Cactus going golden, but the tower he's under is no longer there. And that was a clean ace 4 sub. Deciding not to take the dragon and going straight for the Baron. No, scratch that. They're actually going to do both. And that was an unmitigated disaster for UNM Esports. I don't think that there's anything that they can do to stop this Baron. Their team comp, it's not great from behind, and their jungler kind of already fell off. It's 30 minutes and you're a Pantheon. You're a, I guess you can be a stun bot. The Galio, almost getting Flame Horizon here by the Seraphine. Not great. And again, the only person who continues to have a CS lead over his opponent is Yellow Cactus, holding steady with a 10 CS lead pretty much the entire game. 30-ish for the Kaisa here. That's a Flame Horizon in the mid lane. Seraphine was able to do it. And, I mean, the Pantheon also is still down, but that's about what you would expect. Pantheon versus Rengar. Yeah, it's, you know, it is what it is. The Rengar is going to scale better, and the Pantheon is not going to farm well, but the Pantheon is going to be really good early game. And that's the first turret of this Baron push going down. Over to the pockets of Scroom. Level 17, I think for the first time in a long time, Yellow Cactus is actually a lower level. Scroom does have access to that Dominus. He is deciding to go into it. Pantheon is here when that 1v1 does stop being a 1v1. Didicus deciding to try and get a Yellow Cactus going very, very low. Now the grand entrance is coming in. Pantheon, Renekton is going to get taunted up, and they are able to get it. But while that was happening, 4 members of the enemy team are in the base. Yes, you got the Rengar, but you lost an inhib for it. Now Little Willie 69 going forward with the Gale Force, not able to quite get it. Honor the Sport getting locked up a lot. PP soon, next one going to die. Oh my god, that was so much damage. Didicus going to get knocked into the wall. He's not going to be anything, and now that might have been game. From basically an even game to winning it in the span of, what was that, 2 minutes? One bad team fight, and that's GG. Well played, UNM Esports going 2-1 overall in the game, or in day 1 of the Shadow Islands Cup. I want to see. We are now in. This is actually game 3, and then I would like to see. They don't lead anymore. the gold graph here. The damage profiles. Yep, that's Yellow Cactus trying his hardest to carry his team. Not quite enough. Little Willie 69 quietly doing quite a bit of damage there on the Jhin as well, but it just was not enough. That's fairly even damage, and unfortunate for UNM Esports. The Pantheon and the Galio just never really able to do what they wanted to do in that game. I want to see the gold graph for this game, and we'll be able to see it. Yeah, that was a going from 2,500 to winning the game at 10,000 in the span of, what was that? What's that? 3 minutes. Disaster there at the end from UNM Esports. Well, unfortunate to go out on a loss, but thank you all for watching. Be sure to hit subscribe, like, and comment. Be sure to ring-a-ding that bell. We will be doing the same setup for tomorrow at the same time. It will be 7:15 Mountain Time, which is 9:15 EST for all of those who want to tune in. And then the first game of the regular season for UNM Esports versus Colorado State Rams, January 30th, 2010. I'm going to fire whoever did our graphics. That's me. It's 2021 Lamau. I'm not going to... this was supposed to be our going out screen. That's embarrassing. Hold on. We can do better. Hold on. 2021. And then we go... This needs to be... that bold. Like that. Okay. File. Save. Titled. Okay. Don't worry. We're on it. We're going to be on it. Everything's fine. Nothing has ever been bad about... Where did I just save that? About anything on the screen. Where did I just save that? Well, you know what? It's going to be 2010. So join us January 30th, 2010 at 3 p.m. UNM Esports versus Colorado State Rams. It'll be a hoot and a holler. Don't forget to subscribe. Tell all of your friends. And until next time, gamers, this has been Elegant Cabbage, your caster.
So complex, all I want is me and you. Can you feel my heartbeat racing? Memories of heartbreak fading. I reach out, these arms embracing you. They don't have a lot worth chasing. We go far beyond those spaceships. Open up your eyes, you see it too. You lift my spirits when you hold my hand. Anywhere we land, it's like our toes are in the sand. You got my feelings set to overload, spilling over more until I overflow. Can't explain what can't be explained. Is it so strange to not be the same? Never change, no please never change.